Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Death Ray here, back with some more horror movie news and some other fun stuff. Guys, really quick before we get going, I do want to make sure that my audio sounds optimal. I know that last time around I had a little bit of an issue, so before we really get going, I'm just going to check on that really quick. So just wait one moment. Sounds good. Sounds like we've actually got the real deal picking up. I think last time something happened when I used a different web browser and it just used the default microphone on the computer and it totally broke my heart. So as long as you guys can hear me talking and you can hear the nice little background music we've got in the bed, that's what they call it. I'm not trying to be dirty. Then we should be all good. So awesome. Linda says it sounds good. Brooke says it sounds good. Perfect. Guys, I'm excited. I'm all jacked up on coffee. Truth be told, one of these, with the set photos that Frank from the Slaughtered Lamb took, I actually did a pre-recorded video. And then we got a picture of Pamela on set yesterday. And I was like, shit. I don't have that in my pre-recorded video. So I was like, fuck it. We'll do it live. I'll just go on here with you guys and then I'll snip it on down to a little news clip where we can show everything off as its own separate video. But I do want to, take care of a little housekeeping. It's a brand new month, so we can give away some channel memberships, which is always exciting. And guys, I put a whole bunch of brand new merch on the fourth wall page. So some of it has been stuff I've been talking about or you guys have been asking about for quite a while. So I'm really excited and I wanted to show that off to you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and say what's up to everybody hanging out in the room here. And then we'll get going on all my commercial shit. And then we can jump into the Crystal Lake stuff. And I've got a couple little news tidbits. Other than that, mostly this is going to be about those set photos that we've been seeing come out within the last few days. But I'll say what's up to you guys first, and then we'll get cruising. We got Lamontre Gillard in the house. What's happening, Lamontre? Great to see ya. Chester Franklin Jr. How you doing, Chester? We got one of our great channel members, Hollywood Lido. What's happening, Lido? Great to see you, bud. We got Gene Whitacombe. Gene, I am doing well. I hope you're doing well also. We've got Dean Renner in the house, not only a channel member, but also a Patreon member as well. Hope you are doing well, Dino. Yeah, Dean. It's been a while. All right, we've got Linda in the house. I hope you're having an awesome week as well, Linda. Thank you so much for jumping in and hanging out with us, of course. We got Logan Reynolds. What's happening, Logan? Always a pleasure. Logan's seen 5 from 2025 so far. Yeah, guys, that reminds me, I did put a poll there in the chat. Just seeing if you guys, I know a lot of people are doing that halfway through the year ranking of horror movies. I've seen 12 horror movies so far this year. Maybe 13? I think it's just 12. So it looks like 93% of the 15 people that have voted do want to see a ranking of those horror films. So that should be fun. I can go ahead and put something like that together for you guys. Let's see here. I was going to see Dangerous Animals and they yanked it off the screens. Oh, that's one of the benefits of living where I do, in the Phoenix area, is movies hang around for quite a while. We got Denise Weed in the house. What's happening? Denise, one of our great channel members and Patreon members. So great to see ya. We got Todd. Bound. How you doing, Todd? Great to see ya. Brooke Scarlett, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. Yes, thank you for reminding me, Brooke. Guys, if you're tuning in, whether or not you're watching live or after the fact, please hit that like button. It helps the live stream have an extra set of legs as it goes on. And you guys have been really supportive and awesome on the pre-recorded vids as well, so thank you so much. In case you missed it, I did a video kind of ripping apart that Sweet Revenge Angry Orchard business that we're seeing from the Jason universe. And also last week I put out an early review of Jurassic World Rebirth. It's a non-spoiler review. So, and when I say non-spoiler, I really mean non-spoiler. I don't even go into like details on the plot or anything like that. So if you guys are interested in checking out that movie, give my review a watch either before or after. We got Ashton Luck in the house. What's happening, Ashton? Great to see ya. The Daily Ghost, one of our great channel members, says sounds back to normal. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, the Daily Ghost caught that on the replay. And the funny thing is the microphone was on and plugged in. So in my headphones, everything sounded fine. I didn't realize until I saw that comment and actually went to the video and was like, oh yeah, that was the laptop microphone that was actually capturing the sound, even though I was hearing perfect sound. Stupid. Ridiculous. Lito says I'm sounding crisp. All right. Love it. See who else we got. We got Eli Cortez in the house. What's happening, Eli? One of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. On the road right now, listening along. Thank you so much, Eli. Always a pleasure having you hanging out. We got Aaron Click. What's happening, Aaron? So good to see you, bud. Love having Aaron jump on in to a live, of course. Who else do we have in here? Destiny Faulkner. Des, it's been a while. I hope you've had a fun summer so far. Des is one of our great Death Squad mods here. Are you still traveling out and about? Are you going to be out here for Mad Monster, or are you already back home? Just curious to know. Mad Monster is going to be a wild weekend. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't want to spoil anything, but it sounds like the Horror Show channel and maybe another channel that you guys are familiar with might be putting together something pretty fun for Mad Monster. So I'm very excited. Should be a good time if it all works out, as I've heard. So yeah, pumped on that. Let's see, who else do we have in here? It looks like I might be all caught up. Lito says, my friend Crash Cunningham says an actual image of Jason himself has leaked, and he claims it looks just like the design we saw previously. He wasn't happy. Oh, from the Jason universe. Yeah, that shot that we have when they're showing like the, you know, the clapper, clap on, clap off, the clapper. You know, you can see him sort of out of focus. I would imagine that even though the design isn't great, it would probably look a little bit better in live action than in an AI image. But yeah, I'm not expecting much from the Jason universe, people. We got Jamie Hart in the chat, one of our great Death Squad mods, the original Death Squad mod, and a channel member as well. Bradley Johnson says he drowned in all our sins, drowned in our mistakes, fueled by the flood we pay in blood, the curse of Crystal Lake. I'm guessing that's a lyric, maybe from one of those metal bands that I keep on hearing about but have never listened to. I'm guessing. Brad, let me know. Oh, you leave on the 9th. Okay, well, shit. We got to get together. I'll reach out to Braden, and yeah, we got to get together. I'm sure you've already been to Slices, but it would be fun to grab a slice and just kick it with you guys. So, I'll reach out on our little Instagram thing we've got going, Des, and see if we can put a little something together. I'd love to hang out with you guys. And really, I only have gotten to hang out with Braden. You know, I see him at press screenings, but you don't really get to kick it for too long. But at the last Nightmare Part 1 screening, we got to hang for a little bit. So it'd be cool to kick it with Braden again. Us guys, we're just terrible about communicating, aren't we? Oh my goodness. Hey, no worries, Aaron. I totally get it. Sometimes it's just a little more difficult than others. So yeah, no big deal at all. Yeah, Slices is so good. Guys, if you're ever in the Phoenix area, Slices in Tempe at the Tempe Marketplace, probably my favorite slice here in the Phoenix area. I really enjoy it. There's another place called, I think it's called El Capo, and it's just right across from the AMC theater that I go to, so it's very convenient. That spot's really good too. I love pizza by the slice. I'm a big fan. Yeah, I can't believe I can't think of that band's name right now, Brad, but I know exactly who you're talking about. They're the one, Ice Nine Kills. Is that what they're called? I don't know. I should try to get them on the show, and then I'll send them this clip as like a, hey guys, if you want me to remember who you are, maybe jump on the show, even though you're massively famous. Yeah, is that in Lake Pleasant? or is in one of the other ones. We might have talked about this in a comment section or something, Todd, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I haven't been down there. The water freaks the hell out of me. Maybe call it a healthy fear since we don't have fins and gills, or if it was Jaws, I don't know. Oh, Jamie, we're gonna get into that merch. I can't wait. I can't wait. Ooh, Jurassic the other day. I'm always down for slide. Yeah, how much fun was Jurassic World Rebirth? So good. So good, guys. I mean, for what it is, it's not a movie that's gonna like blow your socks off with originality or anything. Let me get that going. That looks a lot nicer, huh? It's not a movie that's gonna blow your socks away with like originality, but it is a really fun time at the movies. I would say if you grew up with the originals or if you have kids, you should check out Jurassic World Rebirth. But now I've blown it for anyone that hasn't watched my review. Now you know how I feel about it. What's happening, Victor? So great to see you. All right, we've got 25 people hanging out here. That's awesome. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. And guys, you can become a member for just 99 cents a month. Speaking of which, though, guys, let's do a little membership giveaway. How about that? Does that sound fun to you guys? I think that sounds fun. Let's get into that. I miss you guys. You know, it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since I've been live here on the channel, and you're going to get a twofer today because I'm doing news right now. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have my buddy Duncan Allen from Hard Pill and like 3 or 4 other bands in Portland. He's going to be on Late Night with the Davey. We're going to show off one of his music videos, and then we're going to debut a brand new song from the Hard Pill upcoming release. So I'm really looking forward to that. I guess I'll just finish that part of the commercial. Guys, I think you're really going to enjoy this interview with Duncan. He is one of the hardest working musicians I've ever seen in my life. The guy is just, he's an amazing drummer, great vocalist. All of his bands have just, you know, the production value that they put together is great. I enjoy the music. It's a little, I would say, especially Hard Pill is on the tougher side of the kind of music that I like, but I really enjoy that kind of like groovy hardcore. And not to make things too heavy right now, we're certainly going to talk about it later, but last December, Duncan was brutally attacked when he was at work. He was stabbed multiple times in the back and the side, and he made it through. So, you know, for all of us folks that are, you know, big horror fans, and we see the, you know, these characters in these movies that survive these traumatic events and everything, you know, this guy's actually lived through it and then turned it into creative juice for this Hard Pill record. So you're going to see that tonight in one of the music videos, and we're going to talk about it a little bit as well. I just thought that was something that would be interesting to share, especially with our community, because we're so used to seeing, you know, fictionalized horror, fictionalized trauma, fictionalized reaction to trauma. And tonight we'll get the opportunity to hear the story of somebody that's actually, you know, lived that in real life. So looking forward to that conversation. And Duncan's also a really big film fan. So we're going to talk about movies as well. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, Des. It is pretty crazy for sure. Holy cow, we got Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music in the house, one of our great channel members. We got Tom Ungarian joining us as well. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. It is a pretty wild story, and we're not going to linger on it too much, but we will discuss it for sure. It's very relevant to what Hard Pill is doing, especially. We got Gina in the house as well. How are you doing, Gina? Great to see ya. And yeah, guys, let's go ahead and give away some memberships. I know it feels like every time I go on live, it's like I'm just dragging my feet the whole time. Holy cow, we got Sebastian in the house as well. What's happening, Sebastian? Great to see you. Okay, let's give away some memberships. All right, so we're going to give away 5 right now. Boom, there we go. So 5 memberships have been gifted. Let's see who gets those. Paula Fitzhenry was gifted a membership. Adrian Phillips, Gavin Mudd Nelson, Erica, who's a Death Squad Mod received a channel membership, and so did Brett Patrick from Pat That Halloween Movie Collector. Hell yeah, welcome to membership, guys. Let's go ahead and give away those other 5 right now. Boom, there we go. Those have been gifted. Let's see who received this batch. Holy cow, Michael Russo, Neighbor Mike, Darkroom Reviews. Congratulations, Joel. MAGA Cat, Ugg the Mug, and William Driver have all been gifted memberships. Welcome to channel membership, everybody. Hope you guys enjoy what we've got. Okay, guys, and let's just go ahead and move on from channel membership stuff to new Death Squad, and I saw that in the theater merchandise. So yeah, guys, maybe some of you are new and haven't haven't checked out the merch yet. Let me see if I can get this going. There we go. Okay. Well, I was hoping. There we are. Thank you so much, StreamYard, for letting me, utilize this since I'm paying so much money every month. Sometimes it does whatever the hell it wants, guys. But yeah, we've got some new Death Squad, and I saw that in the theater merchandise here on the Fourth Wall page. Guys, if you haven't checked out the Fourth Wall page, I've updated a few things here, so you can just check out the home. You can browse every little bit of the merchandise. You can also shop by collection down here in the middle. So I'll just show off the new stuff. We do have, real quick, I guess I can show you. We got some Hit the Bricks merch. Really fun. I love these hats there. We've also got, of course, Late Night with the Davies got some merch there as well. So if you're looking for some mugs or shirts, maybe a hat, something like that. We've also got some Movie Punks merch too. So that's the quick and dirty on those. But first off, for our gal Jamie Hart, because she's always in the chat saying, I saw that in the theater. We put together a little I saw that in the theater merch. I just imagined that maybe this is what Jamie looked like in the theater when she was in her younger years. I don't know. So we put together a little image there for her. And then we've got, of course, her little quote down below with a Jamie Hart in Friday the 13th lettering with her lovely purple heart there. So we've got an enamel mug. We've got a couple different variations on the shirt. So one that's got black lettering here, and then one that's got white lettering, just because some of them work with certain colors, some of them don't. So we even have a lady tank top and a hoodie as well. And you might be asking, why isn't there anything on the back? Guys, if I add anything on the back, like I was thinking, a Davey Death Ray logo, that would be fun. It ups the price by like $6 or $7 a shirt. So I'm just like, I want these things to be as affordable as possible for you guys. So yeah, we got a couple different t-shirts, the tank top, the baseball hat here, the enamel mug, and of course a hoodie. So really fun stuff. If you want to support, I guess it's not supporting Jamie, but if you want to rep Jamie and the I saw that in the theater catchphrase, then now we have a spot to do it. So I thought that was pretty fun. And then Eli has been asking for Death Squad gear. So we've got a few different options here for you guys. Let's see here. I'm going to start at the bottom with these. So we've got our cool little cutesy monsters. We've got a mug here with the logo on the opposite side. We've got a koozie. We've also got a hoodie with our cutesy monsters, a t-shirt as well. We've got this is a foam trucker hat that it's printed on, so it's a little bit less expensive, just $15 for that trucker hat. And then we also have I call this one the superhero logo for Death Squad. This one is the slime logo. So we have that trucker hat. We've got a hoodie as well. I think the purple really pops on the hoodie with that green there. And then we also have a t-shirt as well as a black mug. For some reason, the black mugs are more expensive. I don't know why. And then we've got a little bit. So these trucker hats are a few dollars more, but they're embroidered. So they're it's a little bit of a higher quality. And we've got some different colors there for you to check out of each one of these. I love this red, white, and blue one with the yellow superhero logo. Super fun. But yeah, we've got some hats, we've got some mugs, hoodies, and tees, and even a little koozie for you guys for if you want to grab some Death Squad merch, and then people will be like, what the hell does that mean? And you can be like, oh, well, it's just from the coolest channel on YouTube, Davey Deathray. Become a Death Squad member for 99 cents a month, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, guys, I'm going to jump back into the chat and see what you guys are saying. Hopefully I didn't lose everybody. Let's see what we got here. Everyone's just saying hello to the folks joining on in. Let's see here. That's exactly what I look like in the theater, me with a huge tub of popcorn. Perfect, Jamie. I love it. Oh, yeah. Oracle 684 is in the chat. And yeah, guys, we're going to get into the news and everything. Thank you so much, Linda. I'm glad you dig the merch. I'm pretty pumped on it. I'm really happy with how it all came out. And hopefully, you know, you guys can grab some fun stuff that you'd be, you know, proud to own. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the news. I see some people asking about it. So, Sebastian, we'll get into that, okay? I'll kind of start that news segment, and because I'm going to clip it out later, so I'll give you guys the full explanation there on that. And might as well just go ahead and do a little bit of this. There we go. Okay, guys. So we've got some new, I don't know, are they new? I guess they're new. Guys, we've got some set photos from the Crystal Lake TV show that A24 is producing for Peacock. And most of these pictures come to us by way of Frank Riker from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. And of course, Frankly Speaking, he's actually got a video and shows off the pictures on his Frankly Speaking YouTube page. So I've included a link down below so you can check out that video. You can subscribe to his page. And then the last picture I'm going to show is from the Alone in the Dark podcast Instagram. So I've also got a link for that Insta. And I just want to make sure to give credit. I did not take these photos. And I don't know if these have been, I know these are kind of like leaks. So hopefully no one gets in trouble or anything. But I also just want to make sure I'm giving proper credit where credit is due. So, and not only that, guys, I took a look at these photos. I kind of broke them down a little bit. I've got a couple like zoomed in shots, and then we've got some shots of the vehicles. I did some research because I'm not the biggest like classic car kind of guy. I'm just not super knowledgeable. So I did some research and tried to find out exactly what year, make, and model these vehicles, the two cars and the motorcycle are. So we're going to get into that as well. So I'm super pumped. This makes me extra excited for the show. I'm already excited, but you guys know that I've been covering this for a while now, and the ups and the downs and the false starts have been kind of getting to me a little bit. Let's just be honest. But I think, you know, now that they're actually shooting and we're getting these set photos, I'm much more excited. So let's go ahead and jump on into what we've got here. So there we go. For some reason, it wants to do that again. What is happening here? There we are. There we go. Okay. All right. Took us a few times. Appreciate it, StreamYard. Thank you so much. So here we've got a shot of the main cabin. And, you know, we've got a few things we can gather from the picture here. So they've got some of their lighting equipment there on the right side. They've covered that with plastic, of course, to keep it all safe. We've even got, like, down in the foreground, you can see a garbage can. And that has 3 words on it. I can only make out the first 2, but it says set dressing something or other. So I'd imagine that's just something for the crew to use when they're getting either the inside or the, you know, the exterior of the set ready to go. But guys, if you look closely above the deck here, and I've got a closer image that I can show you there, We do have a little sign that says welcome campers. I love the lettering on there. It looks like it's, you know, all the letters, the font is sort of like forged out of, you know, tree branches, wood of some sort. So it's definitely got that retro 70s feel. You know, we've been told the show is going to take place in the 70s. So it's definitely got that feel that is very fitting and right along with that time. So that's great. Another thing I noticed here in this shot, if you look on the left side of the frame, looks like they've got like a barbecue or a grill. I think that barbecue looks a little too modern. So I don't know if that's just something that's there that they're going to move off when they start shooting or what have you. And if you look really closely down on the bottom towards the right side of the screen, there's a little sign that says, it's like a cardboard sign that says paintball with an arrow. And I think that's because they're still there. It seems to be that they do paintball recreationally in the area where the set is, and they're just trying to, they must be allowing people to still do their paintball thing while they're shooting, or I don't know how that works, but it seems like they're just guiding people to stay away from the set and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll move on here to a shot of Crystal Lake, the titular lake of the show. And yeah, we've got, of course, more caution tape, some cables there on the right side. Looks like just, you know, power for the lighting and all that fun stuff. But if you take a closer look in the center right side of this picture, right between the bars on that barricade, you can see the dock. And I'll give you a closer look here. So there we go. Now we've got, I don't know, maybe they'll build something special or something extra for the TV show. I'm not sure, but yeah, we've got a little bit of a shot of the dock there, and I really dig the way. I know this is shot in the same area that they did the original film and everything. I'm digging the look. To me, there are certain spots when you get out there, they're just kind of timeless. And you know, of course, you know, we're looking at the barricade and the fence and everything, but I can imagine standing on the shore of the lake and looking out, and it's just got this timeless feel. You could picture yourself, you know, back in the 70s, you know, when the TV show is set to take place, and a really nice, serene lake that nothing bad would ever happen in, right? Or happen around, right? So yeah, there we go. We've got Crystal Lake there. An official, well, I guess not official, but a nice shot there from courtesy of Frank Riker. And here we go. We've got one of the vehicles that's being used in the show. Guys, I had no idea what this is, so I looked it up, and it is a 1969 Pontiac Firebird. And I can show you a picture here. So there we go. So that's the same year, make, and model. That's a restored version of the vehicle. So yeah, you can notice the grille, the headlights, and of course the lights, the little lights down below are an exact match for what we've got here. There's a little bit of a different hood here, where if you look on that our right side of the hood, there's a little I don't know, another little air vent or something that peeks up. That it looks like that's just, you know, maybe one of the customizable features on that year, make, and model. So, but we can tell for sure that this is a 1969 Pontiac Firebird, which fits right in. So still would have been, you know, a relatively new vehicle in the early 70s. And then on the right side of the picture here, we can see some of the crew back there, at least one member of the crew. Maybe there's another person. It's tough to tell. But it looks like they're getting something ready. And then even on that tree, just to the left of the crew member, you can see a, you know, like a hand-painted restroom sign pointing campers in the direction of the facilities. So maybe that's something that was already there that they've just kept there. It also kind of has that look and feel, you know, kind of bringing us back to the good old days of the 1970s. And then up next, we've got our next little batch of vehicles here. So this one was these two were a little bit tougher. The car, not as much, but I had a tough time with the with that motorcycle. But the police car here, You know, in the 70s, the Plymouth Fury was a big vehicle for, you know, for police. What am I trying to say? For for cops. Big time cop car in the 70s. So yeah, 1970s Plymouth Fury, big time police vehicle. But all the 70s Furies that I looked at, they kind of had this rounded back. They didn't have as more of like an acute or closer to like a right angle back. So I was like, well, maybe we're going back into the 60s for this Plymouth Fury. And I was able to find out that this car here is a 1967 Plymouth Fury 3. So here I can give you, I thought I had a zoomed in version of the back of the car there, but here we can take a look. This is almost the exact same like color and everything. You know, it's not, you know, revamped to be a police vehicle, but here we go. That is the exact same that we're seeing here in this picture. So we can confirm that the police vehicle is a 1967 Plymouth Fury 3. So there we go. Just for comparison, you can tell, man, some of these restored vehicles are in excellent shape. So yeah, and then going, you know, so that's fits again, like with the 69 Firebird, fits in perfectly with the time of the 70s. And then with the motorcycle here, this one, guys, this one was a little tougher. So in the original Friday the 13th, they use, I believe it is either a 79 or an 80 Harley Davidson Electra Glide. And then, so, you know, I'm like, well, it's got to be a little bit earlier for this one here. Guys, it was so difficult to nail down exactly what, you know, what year, make, and model this motorcycle is in this one. So let me see if I can show you what I've got here up on my web page. So I'm thinking that this is a 1971 Harley Davidson Electra Glide. I wasn't able to confirm it, but you know, I would imagine maybe some slight modifications that they've used. But let's see here. Let me go ahead and do this and do that. So there we go. That picture isn't as big as I had hoped it would be. Maybe we can share this one instead, and that'll give you guys a little bit of a better look. But you can see here, you know, the back is very similar. It's got that raised seat that we're seeing in the, you know, in the photo from the set. So I do believe that we're looking at a 1971 Harley Davidson Electra Glide. So let me get that right back up there. And yeah, modifications and everything, but again, fitting right in with the time. It's very similar to the one that, you know, they're really doing a good job of matching that look and feel from the original film, even though the original film, you know, takes place in the late 70s, early 80s. I guess it would technically be 79 is when the first film takes place. So I love seeing the attention to detail here. I think it's great. This is all looking really good. Again, we don't really have much. But here on the Davey Death Ray channel, we're going to keep on, you know, covering this news as it comes out. So, you know, stay tuned for more videos, of course, but we got to get into the big one, folks. So this picture is from the Alone in the Dark podcast over on Instagram. This was shared on their Instagram story yesterday, and it's our very first look at Linda Cardellini as Pamela Voorhees. So there she is. She's looking great. She's all ready to cook. She's got her hair up, no hairnet, but her hair is up. It's a very, this is a good look, fitting with the time, of course. And yeah, it's just, you know, it's just exciting to see this. You know, it's like she's actually there on set. They're filming. This is great. I looked for this picture elsewhere. I was like, man, has Bloody Disgusting shared this? Has anyone else shared this? So I was fortunate enough to snag it from the Instagram story and be able to share it here with you guys. So yeah, first look at Pamela Voorhees, folks. What do you guys think of the set photos? What do you think of our first look at Pamela in her apron and her, you know, cook dress there? Let me know in the chat if you're watching live, if you're watching after the fact. Let me know down in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. because yeah, guys, we're going to be covering not only the A24 Crystal Lake TV show news, we're going to be covering all of the Friday the 13th news here on the channel. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled and you'll get more and more. All right, guys, that covers it for our Friday the 13th Crystal Lake news. I'm curious to see what you guys are saying here in the chat. You know, sometimes when I do these lives with the news, I'm not ignoring the chat. I'm just trying to get through the story so I can cut it together later on. So yeah. So I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm very curious to see what you think. Let's see what we got. Gina, maybe I can figure something out. I think I can do some free shipping or figure something out. Maybe give you a discount code or something like that if you're looking to get some merch. Yeah, the main cabin is looking great. That's decent enough for me, says Sebastian. So there will be kids at the camp. I would imagine we're going to see a full-blown, you know, summer camp session. Yeah. Probably the crew having, that's what I was thinking. I was like, they're either making food for themselves, although on professional productions, they usually have people making food for them. But yeah, maybe doing some barbecue just for, you know, just for fun. Tit chiller. There you go. Looks like the same place they filmed Fear Street. Maybe it was. Ashton's liking how the set looks. Set looks good, says Chester there. So glad it's going back to the 80s. That's what felt missing in the remake. Yeah, and I think they're going back to, I would say like 73, 74, something like that. Yeah, I like the remake. Eli says that extra piece of the hood was the speedometer. It's because they used the inside cluster for other gauges. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and some of them don't have it. So it's interesting that just from the same year, make, and model. So it must have been something that was either customizable or something that came with certain packages, something like that. Yeah, Officer Dorf. Yeah, that's his motorcycle. Yeah, very much so, Todd. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 1971, if I'm correct there. So yeah, this is going to be early 70s for sure. They've already confirmed that, or they said 70s. I'm guessing early 70s since the vehicles are from the late 60s and early 70s. Yeah. So if we're getting Dorf and Crazy Ralph, that means we're getting Alice, Steve Christie, Ted, etc. Well, not necessarily, because Alice and Ted don't show up until, you know, Pamela is like truly getting her revenge years and years later. So this might just be a total reset of the foundation of Jason's story. That's what I'm guessing, is this is going to be a reset. However, I do think Steve Christie is going to be in the show. I think the Christies, because when Pamela says I'm a friend of the Christies in the original film, I think Steve Christie's parents are going to be here, both of them, as the camp leaders. They run the camp. They're managing the camp, and I think Steve is either going to be like a senior camp counselor or something like that. I don't think he's going to be young enough to be an actual camper himself, but I think he'll be a counselor. So I do think we're going to get Steve. I don't know that we're going to get Alice and Ted or any of the other characters from the original film. Yeah, Linda is a looker, even with, you know, I know they put makeup on any actor that steps in front of a camera, but clearly they're going for a natural look here. And yeah, she's a good looking gal. Oracle says, I definitely approve of the Linda Cardellini Mrs. Voorhees look. Hell yeah. Dressed very much like Alice, the housekeeper in the Brady Bunch. Yes. Pretty much that exact outfit, Aaron. Good catch. Linda playing a villain. This ought to be fun. Yeah, and maybe there will be a little bit of a sweet side that we'll see too, and we'll see a turn. I don't know. Maybe she'll have the capacity to be unhinged no matter what. You know, I'm not sure. Yeah, she's a looker. MILF. What's happening, Gory Tiger? Hope you're doing well. Todd says, man, seeing these kinds of behind the scenes photos makes me feel nostalgic about my days working film crews. I bet, man. I bet. Dean says it's looking good. Yeah, I'm digging it, man. Ashton is still mixed with Linda as Pamela, but I like the look. Well, I think it's encouraging. She is a good actor. So, her performances are all really solid. So I think we should be encouraged until we see anything that would make us feel discouraged. But I would imagine they're going to hold all the good stuff until the show. But we'll probably get a moment or two in the trailer whenever they're ready to release that. She's a fantastic actress, so I was sold the day they announced her. Me too, Lito. I thought that was a great hire. I think the only way you could go better, is somebody like Charlize Theron or something like that. Like, she's got that look. But I think Linda has the look too. And not quite as big of a star. So I think it kind of works in that way also. Let's see here. Gina says, I've been watching Friday the 13th film since the 80s, but the remake is my favorite. I really like the remake. I know it's not the most popular opinion. There's certain things about the remake that don't really work for me, but I really enjoy it. Holy cow, Cody Snyder gifted a channel membership. Let's see who that went to. Live to Fish Rourke received a gift membership by Cody Snyder. What's happening, Cody? Thank you so much for throwing out the membership gift there. Really appreciate you. So we now have 11 new channel members today. That's exciting stuff. Cody, what are you thinking of these pics that Frank took, and then this picture from Alone in the Dark podcast of Mrs. Voorhees? Very, very curious to see what you think. Davey finally sounds enthusiastic about this. Well, because we know it's actually happening, right? Just for a while, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, man, is this thing actually going to happen? And here we go. Looks like the wheels are turning. T. Parker says, never thought I'd fall in love with Pamela Voorhees, but here we are. Yeah, I think that's another cool layer to having Linda be hired as Pamela as well. That, there is going to be something. She's not just going to be... Look, I'm not trying to talk smack about Betsy Palmer, but by the time we see her in Friday the 13th from 1980, she's not, she was a better looking lady in her younger years. But she is, let's say, I'm trying to find a nice way to say it. She's relatively masculine in Friday the 13th, 1980. Not just the haircut, but just sort of everything. So it is cool that they have hired somebody that I think can pull off like the toughness and the, psychotic break of Pamela Voorhees. But also we're getting an actress that we've been familiar with for a while and that is, I think pretty damn cute still. Yeah, so I'm right there with you. T. Parker, amen. Pamela be stacked and gorgeous. Oh my God, you guys. Oh, you guys are amazing. Love y'all. Let's see here. Looks like I am all caught up. I can already picture her in the sweater going crazy. Exactly. There we go. Still cracks me up that Palmer only took the role to buy a car. Well, good for her, though. You know what I mean? All right, Cody says, looks good. I really wanted to see Rachel McAdams play the character just to show people she can. I like Linda Cardellini, too. Yeah, I think there's a handful of actresses that could have pulled this off. Charlize, Linda, obviously. Rachel McAdams, I could see that, too, for sure. Yeah, I think they're, we've got a crop of actresses that are, like, right in that perfect age group. To play that, Mrs. Voorhees kind of role, but still also like, Mrs. Voorhees, scary as fuck. So, I think they have a good pick here. I think they got it right. This could be a whole, what if they hired someone that would like look nothing? What if this was like Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, where you're just like, what? Could have been that way too. Sebastian says, I've never seen her in this kind of role before, so I don't know how she'll perform, but I have faith. Sebastian, yes, dude, we gotta have faith. Guys, I know I've been like a picky bitch about all of this Crystal Lake news and of course Jason Universe, which is much more deserved over there. But we gotta give these people a chance to show us a different color of their performance skills, right? Linda has been, I think the first thing I saw her in was Freaks and Geeks. And I think she's just gotten better and better. And I love and encourage actors and performers, whether you're a musician, a stage actor, a cosplayer, a film actor, TV actor, whatever, a visual artist, like you paint or you draw, whatever the heck you're doing, push your boundaries, try new things. I think that it gives people the chance to see that you've got more to offer than just playing, the quirky girl or Hawkeye's wife or, whatever. Like, Linda's been relatively limited in what we've seen from her. And that's not her fault. She's taken roles that she can get and she's doing a great job. So I think we have an awesome opportunity to see something really special from her. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm feeling. I want something that's like, oh my gosh, they want to nominate her for an Emmy because she's so awesome. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm not like calling my shot right now because we haven't seen anything, but that's what I'm hoping for. Hey, we could all use some therapy. I'm starting mine here in 13 days. I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah, mainly seen her in comedies and a couple of the Marvel films. Yeah. There we go. Todd, Pedro Pascal as Pamela Voorhees. Well, we have seen him in some interesting outfits on the red carpets lately. I'm tired of seeing or talking about Pedro. Yeah, he is dreadful and insufferable. There we go. Oh, she was in Mad Men, and a great show with Christina Applegate, both pretty heavy and dramatic roles, and she was so good. Yeah, I've never seen Mad Men. I saw a wild Emma Stone quote about Pedro Pascal. Oh, do tell. Let me know. Hit me up in a DM if it's not appropriate here. We better stop before they announce Pedro as Jason in the next 10 movies. No, Pedro is going to play Mr. Christie. Linda is incredible and dead to me. I'm super hyped to see her take on Pamela. Hell yeah. I'm in therapy. Have been for years. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my therapy on. That's for damn sure. Okay, guys, do you want to cover a couple other quick little news stories and then we can just sort of chit chat? How about that? Let me jump back on over here and I'll do that. All right. And if I could get this thing to actually... There we go. Okay. Thank you so much again, StreamYard, for working with me. Okay, guys, we've got some brand new Jaws 50th anniversary merchandise that's dropped. Man, this Jaws 50th anniversary just seems to be going on forever, right? So, yeah, Fright Rags commemorates 50th anniversary of Jaws with apparel and pint glass. There's a couple things here. I'm always going to cover Jaws stuff. I know. Maybe some of you guys are like, I'm over the Jaws thing. We talked about it for like 2 weeks straight over every single YouTube channel out there. But I just have to. I have to. It's my favorite movie. And, one of the things here I'm lukewarm on, but a couple of them I really dig. So let me just go through the article here. Fright Rags is getting in on the Jaws 50th anniversary celebration with apparel and pint glasses. Zachary Jackson Brown's new 50th anniversary design comes on t-shirts for $33, comfort tees for $34, and tank tops for $33. The 16-ounce pint glass, which is perfect for your Jaws wine, features a custom embossed design with raised artwork and wave textures. Priced at $25, it's housed in a collector's box. Fright Rags has also restocked their Jaws socks, designed by Sarah Deck for $13, and Kyle Crawford's recreation of the original film crew shirt for $33, plus several archival shirts available as print on demand for $36. And you guys all know about Jaws, so I don't need to read you the plot synopsis there. This 50th anniversary design, I think this one's pretty cool. Harkening back to that Jaws exploding, the shark exploding out of the water and everyone running for their dear lives. Pretty all right design. Guys, I am very smitten, though, with this pint glass. Oh my God, this thing is so cute. I just love that it looks like it's kind of, is from the time. It's got that fresh coat of paint kind of thing on it. This thing is adorable. I really want this pint glass like that. This is the item from all of these things where I'm like, oh my God, Somebody please send me this pint glass. And guys, if you're collectors yourself, then maybe you want to buy two, one to keep in the collector's box and one to enjoy when you crack open a fresh Narragansett beer. And then we've got the socks here. I think the socks are fun. You know, they don't excite me too much. I do have a pair of shark socks. I used to have two, but one worn out. So I had to throw them away. But yeah, the Jaws sharks are fine and dandy. This too, the crew shirt, the old crew Jaws shirt. I love it. Even though that shark looks nothing like the shark that we get in the movie, I adore this shirt. I just imagine, you know, Spielberg wearing this thing on set. And this is a piece that I'd love to add to my wardrobe for sure. So yeah, there we go. We got some, you know, 50th anniversary Jaws merch. Nothing too crazy there, but a fun little ad if you're looking for some more, especially that beautiful pint glass. But guys, let me know in the chat if you're watching live what you think. If you're watching after the fact, let me know down in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content and can't get enough of Jaws. All right, and moving on to a couple other things here real quick, guys, and then we can just chit chat with each other. Guys, Demian Rugna from When Evil Lurks is pretty damn busy here. The other day we shared some news about him, you know, putting together his final version of the script for When Evil Lurks 2, or whatever they're going to end up calling it. So yeah, the sequel to When Evil Lurks 2 is in the pre-production phases right now with him finishing up the script. But here he's developing a vampire comedy called Felix, a complex puzzle. And guys, I'm kind of excited about this. I'll read through the article from Megan Navarro here, and then I'll tell you what it reminds me of. Maybe some of you guys that are watching live in the chat can sort of put together what this sounds like. And maybe if you're watching after the fact in the clipped out video, you already know where I'm going. So let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments once I start running through this, you know, what you think it sounds like. So here we go. The article goes, writer-director Demian Rugna is keeping busy. The filmmaker is not only developing a sequel to When Evil Lurks, but a new vampire horror comedy, Felix, a complex puzzle, 2, per a new press release. Not only does Felix sound like a break from tone not only does Felix sound like a break in tone from Rugna, I think that sounds better, but it also sounds like a break from standard vampire fare. The vampire will be hunting down his own body parts this time. The film follows Omen, a hard-partying vampire playboy and the leader of a notorious bloodsuckers clan. After falling into a river during a wild yacht bender, Omen is presumed dead and sent to the morgue, where doctors mistakenly harvest all his organs, including a lung. Waking up the next morning disoriented and dismembered, Omen rallies vampire bounty hunters from across the globe, from Romania to indigenous American clans, to track down his missing body parts. Meanwhile, in the big city, we meet Felix, a hypochondriac night tour guide, unknowingly about to become part of the bloody puzzle. And let's see here. Rugna says Felix is a super fun, spooky comedy in the vampire world that plays a lot with horror and dark comedy. It features endearing characters and draws a lot of influence from films like Fright Night and Lost Boys. It explores my very peculiar comedy style without losing my genre director signature, as in every project. So yeah, guys, I'm excited for this because it sounds like a comedy version of... Have you guys ever played Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest? In Simon's Quest, it's a little bit different. You're Simon Belmont from the very first Castlevania video game, and Dracula, after you've defeated him in the first game, before you defeated him in the first game, he put a curse on you that is slowly killing Simon. So in Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, Simon has to go all over Transylvania. He has to find the body parts of Dracula. He has to put them all together to resurrect Dracula and defeat him once again in order to dispel the curse. So I'm, obviously this isn't like the exact same thing, but that's kind of, fetch quest for a vampire's body parts. Right when I read this, I was like, oh, this sounds like a lot of fun, like a comedy road trip kind of, fetch quest movie about a vampire collecting his own body parts. So little taste of that Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. And guys, kind of like with Jaws, I'm a massive Castlevania fan. It is my favorite video game series of all time. Easy. Not even, no series comes even close. So this right away is very appealing to me. Also, I really enjoyed Demian Rugna's first 2 films, Terrified and When Evil Lurks. And like we were talking about with Linda Cardellini, I like seeing creative people try something different. And this is just a little bit of a shift away from his standard serious horror stuff. So I think we're still going to get a beautifully shot film, and hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm going to follow Demian Rugna's career because I love his first 2 movies. So until he gives me reason to stop following him, I'm going to be pumped about everything he's got coming. So yeah, let me know in the chat if you're watching live, what do you think about this? And if you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. All right, guys, I think we've just got one more. Who's still with me? We got 17 people in here. This one's going to be quick because I'm not too excited about it, but here we go. All right, folks, it's never ending. The public domain horror movies are still coming our way with Minnie's Midnight Massacre. That's right. It wasn't enough that Popeye's got one and Mickey Mouse has I guess Popeye's got 3. Mickey Mouse has God knows how many by now. Of course, we have the whole Pooniverse. So what? We've got Bambi from them, Peter Pan, of course, the Winnie the Pooh characters. But here we go. Whether we like it or not, Minnie's Midnight Massacre. And let's check this out. Wow, that looks incredibly low budget. That picture there. Yeah, not really buying the mask. Not very scary. This article comes to us by way of John Squires. And yeah, let's just go ahead and read through this one real quick. With Disney's animated short Steamboat Willie now in the public domain, horror filmmakers are free to do whatever they want with the characters. The most notable film of the bunch thus far is Screamboat, starring David Howard Thornton as a killer Steamboat Willie, but it's certainly not the only Mickey Mouse-inspired horror movie to come along in recent months. But this next horror project to spawn from the public domain status of Steamboat Willie is taking a different approach. Minnie Mouse becomes a slasher in Minnie's Midnight Massacre. Deadline brings us a first look image from Minnie's Midnight Massacre this week, announcing that the film just wrapped up last week on the upcoming low-budget indie horror effort. I'm guessing it started last week and also wrapped up last week. Director Brett Bentman's film sees Steamboat Willie's first mate, Minnie, go on a killing spree when seeking revenge against the childhood bullies who tortured her as a teenager. What? So it is just a regular human being wearing a Minnie Mouse mask. All right, whatever. Hannah Hewson stars in Minnie's Midnight Massacre. Brentman tells Deadline, we wanted to bring the black and white sidekick to life. We'd see Willie in all of these reimaginings, but what about Minnie? Why not give her some spotlight? Yeah, why not just go ahead and check that box? I don't know, guys. I have stayed away from these movies, but whenever I see new news about them, I feel compelled to cover it because look at this stuff. This is just, it's like a car crash. I can't look away. But I don't know. Let me know if you're watching live what you think about all these public domain, children's characters being turned into horror movies. I'm not too amped on them, but I'm curious to know what you guys think. If you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments, of course. Drop a like, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. All right, guys, that wraps up the news that I had for you. We can go back to normal here and just chit chat. There we are. How about that? That feels better. Whoa, 60 chats. I'm so far behind. Let's see. I guess maybe not that far. You guys still talking about Pedro Pascal? Love it. All right, we got Jay Beach in the house. Welcome on in, Jay. The Jaws socks are funky fresh, says Jamie. All right, so she's really into the socks. I think my family used to have original Jaws tumblers way back in the day. Oh, yeah, those would be amazing. Speaking of tumblers, guys, if you want to see any merchandise, if you check out the Fourth Wall Shop, there's a link in the description below, and there's some merch that you're not seeing, let me know. I can do stuff like tumblers. I could do pint glasses for, those Death Squad, designs that we have up there. So just let me know if there's something that you're wanting to see that you haven't already. I can certainly make those pint glasses for sure. And even, I don't know, you guys whiskey drinkers? Who wants a tumbler? Who wants a Death Squad tumbler? Todd says, might have to get the crew shirt. Yeah, it's good. And it's got a nice worn look. T says, I know you hate popcorn buckets, but do you plan to get the Jaws popcorn bucket from AMC? I don't think so. I kind of do want that trucker hat they have there, though. I am interested in that. Yeah, for sure. Those popcorn buckets are so expensive, I started Castlevania on Netflix recently. Sebastian, I love that show. So good. Especially the first, 2 or 3 seasons that were, mostly focused on Trevor and Sypha and Alucard. Loved those. The newer one with Richter, I like the first season a lot. The second season I was kind of lukewarm on. We also had a Jaws game that was a bit like Operation. You had to try to pull items out of the shark's mouth. I've seen pictures of that one, Aaron. I do have the Ravensburger game of Jaws, which is also really good. It's, more modern game, but really, really fun stuff. And I love the NES Jaws game. It's very simple, but, I can beat it in like 10 to 12 minutes. So I always have fun going back to that one. Let's see what else we got. I think Castlevania is 6 so far. Only just started season 2. Hell yeah. Love it. It's funny, vampire flicks aren't my favorite flavor for horror, says Todd, but recently I really dug Abigail and Sinners. Yeah, they're a little bit of a different take, they're not like your straightforward kind of vampire movie, for sure. And, this one, the Felix movie seems like it's not going to be straightforward at all, it's going to be very different. Oh yeah, the characters, the gore, I love a rated R, anime. So yeah, Castlevania. If you guys haven't checked out the Castlevania TV series on Netflix, it is well worth your time. Especially like those first couple episodes, I was like, oh my God, with how gory they were. I was shocked. Gina says you can put Minnie and the rest where the sun don't shine. I certainly won't be watching. Yeah. Jamie, good Lord. I haven't watched any of those silly movies, not even the Pooniverse ones. They are ruining my childhood. I wish I could Thanos snap this Pooniverse out of existence. Oh, I love it, Ashton. That's hilarious, man. That's the comment of the day so far in the chat. Yeah, and I don't have to keep on covering this stuff, guys. I don't know what it is. Whenever I see it, I'm like, it's almost like I can't believe it. So I just want to talk about it and laugh at it with you guys. Aaron says, I have mixed feelings about these adaptations of childhood characters. It's a bit out of control. Yeah, I understand why people are doing it, but it's almost like, it's like one of the original waves of found footage where now we're seeing, and people are still doing this with found footage, but now we're seeing filmmakers that are like, oh, my first movie, because I can just use a recognizable character that's now in the public domain, I'm going to make this cheap ass horror movie about a character that everyone, that just has, that just has broad appeal or that people know about. So, that's kind of like what people did with found footage movies 20 years ago. It was like, okay, I can make a cheap movie and show people that I can make a movie and then maybe get some jobs from there. So I think it's almost like a demo tape for a lot of these directors and everything. And I don't think that bodes well for the storytelling or the acting or the production value, or even, judging by what you guys are saying in the chat, like our level of interest is like, next to none. After Winnie the Pooh, I gave up on these horror films. Yep. I refuse to watch. There we go. Yeah, it's just one of those things. To me, it's just like, when I was in high school and in my early 20s, low budget horror was fun to watch. But now I've got way too much stuff to do with my time that I don't want to watch crap just to laugh at it or just to see what it's like. I'd probably put on one of these movies to see what the first like 10 or 15 minutes is like and then shut it off just so I can actually get an idea, of what we're looking at as far as, sometimes you just see like the first few minutes of a movie, or even sometimes when I do like a trailer reaction on the horror show channel, you could just tell from the lighting and the sets and everything that this is like, has just about as much production value as like a porno. So my thoughts, says Lido. This looks lower budget than the Christmas slasher I played the villain in, and we made that for the price of a tub of oatmeal. Yeah, this looks, and again, the plot too, like, oh, she's getting revenge on bullies. Yeah, we've never seen that in a horror movie. Like, you can't even, you're going to use Minnie Mouse, but you can't even make it specific. Like, you can't even put it in that universe, which is a damn shame. Yeah. Oh, it'll happen when Blue's Clues becomes public domain in 50 years or whatever. What's happening, Matt? Welcome on in, bud. It wasn't that low budget, but still, my point remains. Yeah, no worries, Matt. It's actually been a little bit, since I've gone live. So getting back into the swing of things, we have 2 lives today. So, Late Night with the Davies coming up this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, if you scrub on back on the live stream, Matt, you'll see some fun set photos from the Crystal Lake TV show, as well as a photo, our first look at Linda Cardellini as Pamela. So some exciting stuff there. Clifford. Oh my gosh. I think these things have to be, 100 years old before they can do it. So we've got some time on some of these characters for sure. Yeah, I thought Abigail was good. And I think Sinners is great. Yeah. Yeah, I dig the Jaws board game. It's fun. I mean, really, you only need 2 people to play. And you can play either half of the game or the whole game if you want to, it's a fun, customizable board game. Castlevania is starting to get me into it for sure. Yeah, dude. Castlevania is great. I love being the shark too, Todd. But what's funny is the people will talk about their strategy right in front of me. Like, so we're going to go here. And I'm like, guys, why are you talking about where you're going? And why are you talking about your strategy? I'm the shark. Stop it. Stop it. That's true, Aaron. You could put them on with a friend just to have a laugh. Yeah. I mean, I've seen some in my time, like even like, the Jack Frost horror movie from the 90s. I think it was 97. Like, that movie knows what it is and it has fun, Let's see here. Holy cow, we got a super chat from Koi, Mr. Happy Sanjo. 199 says Jurassic Park regurgitation was awful. Oh, I don't think so. I think for the kind of movie it is, very, very good for that kind of big budget, mainstream adventure fetch quest movie. Now, compared to something like Sinners, yeah, it's not nearly as good. But I have a tough time comparing all films against one another. I sort of keep them in their own little, pocket of where they exist, for sure. But yeah, I enjoyed Jurassic World Rebirth for what it is, for sure. Just like I imagine, I might feel similarly to Superman, even though I don't expect great things from Superman at all. But thank you so much for the 199 super chat, Koi. Really appreciate you. Ooh, Sebastian, you should totally check out Sinners, man. Really, really fun stuff. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Let's see here. Todd says if you like board games and you like zombies, check out Dead of Winter. Absolutely fantastic game. It manages to be tense and creepy, and players have to make some actually disturbing moral choices. I've heard of that game before. I have heard of that one, yeah. Oh, there's plenty of mixed reviews for Jurassic Park, but again, I think a lot of the people that I've seen that have sort of poo-pooed on Jurassic Park, they're comparing it to like the greatest films of all time instead of just comparing it to movies that are like Jurassic Park. I would say Jurassic World plays much more like a movie like Independence Day than it does Jaws or Citizen Kane or something like that, you know, although there are some elements that did remind me of Jaws there. All right, guys, so we're all caught up on the news. We have chit-chatted for a little bit. I don't think there's anything else I'm forgetting. Let me take a look at the poll here. Look at that, 33 votes. Do you want me to rank the 12 horror movies I've seen from the first half of 2025? 94% of you want me to rank those horror movies that I've seen from 2025, so that's awesome. 6% of you are like, fuck off, Davey. Just leave us alone, bro. You're already going live twice today, and I don't even know, this might not be a live stream. Maybe it would be. I don't know. I guess here. So I'm going to end this poll since you guys are overwhelmingly in favor of that. And I'm going to start another one just while we finish up the stream here. Do you want my 2025 horror ranking to be a live stream or pre-recorded? Yeah. Let me know, guys. We can certainly do it as a live stream. That way you guys can give me shit about all of my opinions and tell me where I'm wrong in real time. Or I could do it as a pre-recorded video, a little bit higher production value, and you guys can tell me I'm wrong in the comments. So let me know what you think in that poll. 6 votes so far. Oh, I didn't even... I put yes and no. Guys, I am a total nut job. Let me see here. Do you want my 2020? Sorry, guys, I'm all jacked up on caffeine. I haven't eaten anything yet. Let me actually, instead of give you a yes or no, I'll give you a live stream and a pre-recorded. How about that? Because that actually makes sense. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness gracious. There you go. A poll that actually makes sense. You guys. All jacked up on caffeine. I can't believe I made it through the news with only a few flubs there. Hollywood Lido drops a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Lido says, not possible that JP Rebirth was awful. It has Scarlet. And I would say that she is just, she's like fine in it. Whatever. I don't want to give the full review here, but I will say the acting performances, they're not bad in the movie, but they're certainly not like one of the standout pieces of the film. And they did everything they could to like not give you a nice butt shot of Scarlet. Even, you know, fully clothed walking away, it's like they cut like they don't want you to look at her hips and her booty. I don't know why. I would have loved to, but yeah. But she's good. She's good. She's fine. Yeah. I think Mahershala Ali is probably my favorite character from the movie. That he was the one where I was like, I really felt had some you know, some bigger steps in his character for sure. Let's see here. Shamrock Balls is in the chat. What's happening, Shamrock? Says, Davey, I love your Quint picture behind you. Yeah, it is a custom Jaws poster. I think I've got a picture. If you check out my Instagram, Shamrock, which is linked in the description down below. If you check out my Instagram, you can see a full picture of it. It's a really nice custom Jaws poster. Not many in existence, but yeah, I'm a total Jaws nut. Lido, well, I'm just gonna need you to get all the way off my back about that. Live stream so we can dogpile on you. Love that. Jamie, oh my gosh, you guys. I figured it out so quickly after. You guys are really jumping on me over this one. No, I'm fucking with you guys. I love you. Happy Sandro dropping another $4.99 says, I don't think there's a huge market for movies like Independence Day. That's why the sequel did poorly. It feels like a movie's made just to make money. I mean, the original, I didn't go watch the Legacy sequel or whatever the hell it was trying to be, but I do think the original Independence Day, you know, kind of stands out as far as all those disaster movies go. There were a lot of imitators. I think the first Independence Day is still a really fun movie because it wasn't doing the imitating sort of thing. I think that Jurassic World Rebirth is going to make a shitload of money in the theater. I watched it on the Screen Unseen, which was like a week ago last Monday. Packed audience, sold out. Whole different mix of everybody there. Kids, older parents, younger parents. Everyone was having a great time. The jokes really landed. And a lot of people, particularly Murphy, the guy that I was sitting next to, we chatted for like 25 minutes after the movie. And he really loved it. So, and I was surprised at how much fun I had, even though, you know, probably like you, Coy, like these movies are not my bread and butter. They're not my cup of tea. I don't go to the movies for this kind of stuff, but for what it was, I thought it did a really good job. So I think this movie is going to make a shitload of money. I especially think worldwide it's going to do very well. You know, that's another benefit of having Scarlett Johansson in the film. And here's my bold prediction, guys. It's going to give Superman a tough time getting that #1 spot when Superman comes out. I think Superman will still edge it out. I think it's going to be a really close #1 and #2 for next week in the box office, because I think that Jurassic World is going to do very well by word of mouth. And it's going to be a movie that parents see with their kids, and maybe they send the kids back the next weekend. It's that kind of movie because it harkens back to the first one. So that's just my 2 cents. And, you know, it's just me. It's not even about my taste in film. It's about me taking a step back and being real about the business side of things. I think that Jurassic World Rebirth is going to do well. Like you had to ask, says Jay Beach. You knew it would be live. I figured. Oh my God, 13 votes, 100% want it live stream. You guys are animals. Davey been drinking the coffee like he's at the Double R Diner. I know. I'm all jacked up. Let's see here. What else do we got? Bought Mulholland Drive on 4K. Hell yeah. Mahershala is always solid. Yeah, he's really good, man. He is really good there. Let's see here. What else do we got? Listening while on the road, says deleted scenes. Hey there, deleted scenes. Is this your second time jumping in? The screen name looks familiar. So welcome back. If so, if this is your first time, welcome on in. You're kicking it with the Death Squad. Shamrock says, I don't have Instagram, but it looks great. Snap, Jaws, nut myself. Well, how about this, guys? I'll post that picture on the YouTube community so you guys can check out that custom Jaws poster. It's really nice. My brother bought that for me. My brother, Matt, he's got a copy as well. So I'll share that on the community tab. I should have shared it on the Jaws 50th anniversary. Let's see here. Davey, are you looking forward to Keeper? It's my most anticipated movie. I feel people have forgotten it's coming out soon. I have no idea what Keeper is. What is Keeper the movie, guys? Somebody tell me. I'm going to look it up right now because I don't even know if I've heard of this. Keeper. Oh, it's a new Osgood Perkins. All right. I don't know if I've really heard of this one. Written by Nick Lepard and directed by Osgood. Well, I think Osgood Perkins is one of the most impressive directors working out there right now. And it's got the woman, it looks like the woman that played the mom in The Monkey is going to be the star. She is beautiful and put in a really good performance in The Monkey. The first third of The Monkey was my favorite part of the movie for sure. I mean, easily. It's sort of from there, it just sort of, my enthusiasm really whittled down on The Monkey after that opening act. Yeah, Aaron, you feel people have forgotten. You are right. I have forgotten, but I do love Osgood Perkins. I will watch anything that guy directs. I don't care what anyone else says. Even though The Monkey was like a C+ for me, I feel like The Monkey was him just like, oh, I just want to make a movie, and I'm not going to put as much, like, not to say that he phoned it in, but something like Longlegs is much more beautifully shot, well crafted, and seems to be a more thoughtful piece than something like The Monkey. And I think it's totally fine that a visionary director like Osgood Perkins just wants to be able to make movies that look like regular movies sometimes and don't look as arty as something like Longlegs. Not to get into the whole Longlegs conversation for the 50,000th time, I think that movie, more than any other movie, is like, if you like Longlegs, you have to defend it, because the people that don't like Longlegs really love to tell you that it wasn't close to their favorite movie of 2024. Let's see here. What else do we got? We like live streams. What can we say? It's true. Davey, it's fun to be on the lives and hang out. Hey, Sebastian, it's really fun to have you, man. I've seen you all over the chats on other channels, so it's really cool to have you kick it over here with us. So absolutely, man. We like the engagement. I love the engagement too. I mean, lives are where I feel most comfortable, guys. Even when I'm all jacked up on caffeine and making mistakes and being a goof, lives are still where I feel most comfortable. But I know sometimes these things, putting together these rankings, stuff like that as pre-recorded videos, sometimes they just do a little bit better. So I just like to gauge you guys. Ooh, Sebastian wants to know if we're going to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah, Sebastian, hopefully I can go see it early at a press screening. I'm not expecting it's going to be great, but I'm excited to see it just to kind of see which way it goes. If I can't go to a press screening, I'm definitely going to go to the theater, because I've got that AMC A-list, so it doesn't cost me anything extra to see movies that I'm like, about, Even, guys, so check this out. I wasn't able, even though I was right there when Cecil got the go-ahead to go to the Superman press screening, and he told me that I was going to get to go with him. I'm not bitter. Even though all that happened, it looks like someone else from the Horror Show channel is going to go check out Superman with Cecil. So I'm not going to be able to see it that early, but I think on Thursday, like the first day that it actually releases to public, I'm going to see it back to back. So I'm going to check out Superman in 3D IMAX. And then like an hour after that gets out, or a half hour after that gets out, I'm going to go watch it in the Dolby Atmos theater. So God, I hope it's good if I'm going to watch it twice in a row. So yeah, I know that's not about I Know What You Did Last Summer, but yeah, I can just go see, 4 movies a week. So I'm definitely going to check out I Know What You Did Last Summer. Speaking of Twin Peaks, I got the Z to A set yesterday. I needed to replace my blue set because they're scratched. I can't have that. Yeah, I'm still working my way through. My brother, Matt, just left for a trip. He went back up to Juneau for about a week for a little 35th high school reunion for his class from 1990. So Twin Peaks is on hold for me, but we're about halfway through the second season. Hate to admit it, but I'm kind of on the fence about Longlegs. Things I genuinely love about it, but things I'm not crazy about. I'd certainly rewatch it. Yeah, I love Longlegs, and I think it gets better the more times you watch it. So maybe some of those things, either way, like Donnie Darko, really liked it when I first saw it. By the third time I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this movie is like kind of a piece of shit. And then 28 days later, first time I watched it, I was like, wow, that was so exciting. And then the third time I watched it, I was falling asleep. And then all the stuff that just seemed like a ripoff of Day of the Dead just like bugged me more. So sometimes it goes either way, They dropped the ball not bringing John Debney back for the new I Know. His score was the best thing about the original. I also think it's one of the best horror scores of the 90s. I guess I'd have to watch that movie again to remind myself of the score. Speaking of which, I saw F1 yesterday, the new Brad Pitt movie. Dude, that Hans Zimmer score, fucking incredible. And I saw that one in the Dolby Atmos theater, and it made my inner ear itch with how much it rumbles. The movie was good. It was fine. It was like, I'll probably never watch it again, but it was very well made. But the Hans Zimmer score, I would listen to that outside of the movie. Just so good. And then I also recently saw Presence, and I really liked the score there, and I enjoyed the movie as well. Longlegs was great, says Lito. There you go. Love it. Todd Bounds says Nicolas Cage was certainly born to play that part. Yeah, he's fun, man. I think Micah Monroe's really good too. What is it? Blair Underwood? Is that guy's name? He's really good. I can't believe that's the same guy that was in LA Law back in the day. He has aged like 10 years in the last like 35 years. Fucking incredible. But yeah, I really enjoy Longlegs. Maybe it's because I totally get a cinematic boner for camera placement, camera movement, decisions of when not to move the camera, all those things. Like I don't know, that stuff like really drives me up the wall in the best possible way. Really gets me going. So I totally get it. If people don't like the plot, I get it. The plot worked for me, and if it doesn't work for you, then I bet the cinematography ain't gonna save, the whole thing. So Jamie says, I also got Longlegs, Black Phone, and The Monkey yesterday. I have yet to see any of them. Expect reviews because I forgot to cancel the StreamYard payment, so I need to use it. There you go, Jamie. Yeah, I thought, Black Phone, I really enjoyed that one. I still think The Monkey is definitely worth a watch. There's some really, really good special effects there and some really good humor, especially in the first act. But it's great. All three of those movies are different flavors of horror, so you're in for some treats there. The Debney score for I Know owes a lot to the original Hellraiser score by Young. I love Hellraiser, Lito. That first Hellraiser movie is one of those where it's like, even Hellbound doesn't really work for me that much. It's a little too like ethereal, a little too dreamy. I don't think it's a bad movie, and also I think it's a good thing that they didn't just try to like match the tone from the original film. So I'm not knocking it for that, but I just love that tone of the first film and the effects and the fact that the story plays like an Edgar Allan Poe story. There's just something about that original Hellraiser that really gets me, and I find that I enjoy that movie a lot more than most people. And even though the franchise wouldn't even rank close to my top 10 horror, I don't think so. But man, that first Hellraiser movie, so damn good. Blair Underwood is like Jimmy Smits. They just don't age. I think they're vampires. Was Jimmy Smits in LA Law as well? I mean, I know he was in NYPD Blue. Wasn't he in LA Law at some point as well? Along with Corbin Burnson from who played Roger Dorn in Major League, the best baseball movie of all time. Come on, Dorn. None of this Olay bullshit. It's one of my favorite lines of all time. Lito says, Hellraiser, one of my favorite horror films ever. The score is in my top 5. That's why when they asked me to score the documentary, I nearly cried with joy. That's beautiful, Lito. That's awesome, man. Smits was in LA Law. Okay, I thought so. Oh, there she is. Her first. I saw that in the theater, at least the first one that I've caught. And hey, why not? Just because you got different people are here than were at the beginning, why not show off the merch page? Guys, the link for the merch is in the description below. I just want to show that we've got some new merch there, okay? So we've got some Death Squad hats. These are embroidered hats. So we've got the slime design here, and then we've got the superhero design as well. And then you got different color options, so you guys can see all that. If you're a Michigan fan, there you go. You got your maize and blue. So yeah, some different options for you on that. The embroidered hats are $18. They're a few dollars more than these other truckers that we have that are just they're printed on, so it's almost like digitally painted on instead of embroidered, instead of like stitched in. We also have this Death Squad mug, the black mug with the slime design and our Death Squad characters. We've also got that design on some t-shirts here. It looks really great, really pops on the purple. I do like that gray there. Of course, we've got black, we've got maroon, and a few more colors. We also have that Death Squad slime hoodie in multiple colors as well. Again, really pops in the purple. And we've got our cutesy Death Squad crew watching movies and having snacks. That's the superhero design on a t-shirt in multiple colors there. The hoodie, of course, in multiple colors as well. Ooh, the maroon. I really like that maroon. That's a good one. We got a mug, little white mug for the Death Squad superhero design, and of course a koozie as well. So that's all the new merch for the Death Squad, batch that we've got. But we also have, for Jamie Hart, we've got I Saw That in the Theater merch. A cool enamel mug there. Kind of like a camper mug, so something you can take out with you. You don't have to worry about it breaking if it falls or something like that. And we've got a couple different styles on the t-shirts because we have black lettering here in multiple colors. And then we've got the white lettering in multiple colors as well. So you guys can see that. We've also got hoodies, of course. Purple is featured because Jamie loves the purple. We've got girls' tanks, which are rather nice. And we've got a nice little trucker hat as well in multiple colors. So yeah, tons of fun stuff here. Again, guys, if there's a piece of merch that you want to see, whether it's a design you're looking for or a design that you have an idea for, I'll give you full credit. And, even if it's just something where it's like, I want a pint glass for this thing and you don't have a pint glass for it, or I want a tumbler, or I want a water bottle, or whatever it is, let me know, hit me up on my socials, and we can put something together for you. All right? So don't be shy. Like Cat Stevens says, don't be shy. Just let your feelings roll on by. Holy cow. Jordan Decker, one of our great channel members, jumping in to say, howdy, folks. Hopping in for a few before going back out in the sun, heat, and humidity for a bit longer. Drink water. Drink your electrolytes, Jordan. Take care of yourself. When do the ladies' panties hit the merch store? Oh. I don't even know if they have underwear. I don't know if they have underwear on Fourth Wall. Guys, if you want Davey Death Ray underwear, or if you want joggers, let me know. We can put together some expensive Davey Death Ray joggers. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. And I'm going to check on the poll over here. Guys, we're probably going to only go for a few more minutes. 18 votes, 89% of you want to see my top or my 2025 horror ranking as a live stream. So there you go. Live stream it is. And that ends that poll. And I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up for the stream here. You guys have been so awesome. Thank you for kicking it with me here. Again, when it comes to all the set photos and everything, all credit goes to Frank Riker for those set photos and Alone in the Dark podcast for the photo of Linda Cardellini as Pamela Voorhees. So really appreciate those guys for snagging those and posting them. And hopefully they don't get mad that I shared them here. But really want to thank all the Death Squad mods. You guys are amazing. Thank you for keeping everything clean here. Really appreciate all the new folks that jumped on in. Hopefully, if you're brand new here, you've also hit that subscribe button. We are like 10 away from hitting 1,500 here on the channel, which would be really cool to hit within the next week or so. And really appreciate all of the Patreon members as well as YouTube channel members. You guys are awesome. And now we have 11 brand new YouTube channel members. So that is exciting. Yes. And yeah, guys, I will be back later on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, with Duncan Allen from Portland, Oregon. He's a singer. He's a drummer. He's in like 3 or 4 bands, and he's also a huge movie fan. So we're going to talk about all of that. And he is a survivor of a brutally violent attack. So we are going to talk a little bit about that and how he's used that as fuel to the flame for his creative work. So I'm really looking forward to that. You guys are awesome. That's going to be it for the news this time around. So until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Death Ray. Take care.